2016 Honda Accord rear wheel bearing replacement. The first thing you want to do is lift the vehicle safely, have it lifted up and remove the wheel. It's a 19 millimeter. I got my wheel off. Now when you come over here, we're going to have to take this caliper off. So it's these two bolts right here. It's a 12 millimeter. 12 millimeter here, and you're going to take these caliper bolts out. There's one right here on top. Go ahead and get that loose and get that guy out. Okay, we got him out, and then same for the bottom. Loosen that and get this bottom one out. Okay, got him out. Now set these to the side, don't lose them. We're going to have to reinstall them. This will kind of come off, but it's kind of be held on because the brake line has a bracket that's holding it in place. So you can kind of get this off with a pry bar if it's being stubborn on you, but I recommend loosening the brake line. I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, so back here, if you just get this bolt off, I believe it's a 14 millimeter. Just get that bolt out, and then you could have more slack on the brake line, and then you could just get this off a lot more easier and not have to worry about stressing or stretching the brake line. Okay, cool. And that'll be either a 14 or a 12 millimeter, I forget. But we'll go ahead and get that off, and then we could just kind of wiggle and pull this guy off. It'll be a little stubborn because the rear caliper is the twist style where you have to like screw it in, and so it might be a little tight. But once you get that off, your pads might have these little springs. We'll just get these out and set them to the side, and we'll get our pads out. Basically the pads, the rotor bracket and the rotor have to come off. Set these to the side. These are good pads. Try not to get your pads greasy or anything on the brake pad material. Set these to the side. Alright, got all my stuff over there. And then the rotor bracket's going to come off. It's this bolt right here and this bolt right here. And that's for this bracket right here where your pad's going. We're going to slide that off. And that is a 17 millimeter. So go ahead and get these loose. These will be a little tighter than your caliper bolts were. Alright, that's what they look like. Looks like they have a little bit of a blue Loctite on them as well. Just to know if you want to get Loctite for a reinstall. You don't have to, but some guys like to do that. Okay, we'll get that one off, and then once that bolt comes out, we're going to be able to remove this rotor bracket. Pull this guy off right here. Set all this stuff to the side. Now the rotor needs to come off, but it might have these assembly screws right here. It might have one or two. Also, you have these holes in the front of the rotor. These are for pushing the rotor off of the hub. If it's like really rusted on, you could run a bolt down there and it'll push the rotor off the hub, but the assembly screw bolt has to be out first. These never come out easy. Like in a perfect world, you could just get a screwdriver and just unscrew it, but it's never the case. It's always going to be rusted in or super hard to get out. I have a video on how to remove these, like multiple different ways to remove it. But my favorite way, if you have it, is I just get my small air hammer, hook it up to some air, and then I'll just unscrew it with my air hammer. Just go up the side of it. At least to get it loose, I just go up the side like that, and then it'll kind of just loosen it up. You can get these at like your local auto parts store most of the time. They stopped selling them as much, but you can still probably get one or on Amazon. And then once it's loose, I just unscrew it. But again, I have a video on how to get these out, so check that out. Don't damage your rotor with your air hammer. I kind of beat mine up a little bit, but it's okay because it's mine. All right, and then I'm gonna put a bolt in here to push the rotor off of the hub. You may not even need to do this step, but a lot of times with the car this old, and especially if you're like in the East Coast states where there's like snow and ice and all that stuff, they just get rusted on a little bit. But if you have a rubber mallet, you can tab it from the back as well. But only a rubber mallet, though, not a real hammer. Okay, and that's off. So there's our wheel bearing. That's our wheel bearing hub assembly. And we're going to go ahead and get that out. That's held in by 4 bolts in the back. It's just one, you can see them from the front. There's just these 4 bolts. But I would recommend taking this speed sensor out real quick. It's a 10 millimeter, just slides right up and out of the way. I didn't know if this is like in front of the wheel bearing at all, and it's so easy to remove it. Might as well just remove it, and just so you don't damage it. So it just pulls out like that, and then you could take the bolt and put it to the side and save it. All right, so now these 4 bolts in the back are what needs to come out. Whatever tools and resources you have available to get these loose and out. I have air, so I have an air gun with a 17 millimeter impact socket, so I'm just going to zap them out with my air gun. You can use a 17 swivel socket, whatever you got, or if you're in your driveway, you know, if you have like a breaker bar or whatever you got, muscle, just do what you got to do to get these out. An extension helped me because there's some suspension components along the way. So I got that out right there. Then I got the other one, and there is 4 total, as I mentioned before. Okay, so we got the third one out, and then the 4th one. Like I said, a long extension helps a lot with these. Alright, so I got those 4 out. Hey guys, real quick, I know it's annoying, but if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'll help me out a lot. I'm trying to reach 100k subs. It costs you nothing, it's free, and it helps me out quite a bit. I also got the hookup with AUXITO LED lights. They're the brightest, best LED lights in the game right now. I got a large 15% off promo code at the end of the video, so check that out. And last thing guys, I also got the hookup to Quantum Soap. It's a men's soap company, made in America, all natural ingredients. Each bar has its own fragrance and manly smell. They even have bars that are extra gritty for mechanics. Check it out. Alright, back to the video. So I was able to kind of muscle this off, but if you need to use a pry bar to get it off, you can. That's what it looks like when you take it out. And here's where that wheel speed sensor is that I was talking about. So I'm glad we pulled that out. If it's really rusty, you could take something to kind of clean this up, but you don't want to go crazy with like a, you know, a spinner and gouge this or nothing. Just get it, you know, cleaned off if you want. Here's my new wheel bearing. It's a wheel bearing hub assembly technically, but here it is. I'm going to link parts and tools in the description and in the comments, so check that out. Here's the part number for this one. This is Precision Hub Assemblies. This one's pretty good. It's fine. It says do not use air hammer to tighten it. Use a torque wrench. I'm going to try to put torque specs in the description as well. I always get lit up in the comments for not putting torque specs, so I'm going to try to do that. So check the description for that. Alright, so you're just going to line this up pretty much. Just put it in. The bolt holes line up. I think it's dummy proof, so there's no way to really install it wrong. Just put it in. However it lines up is the way to go. As far as like the holes go, and then you'll hand thread your bolts in to get them started, and then we could tighten them down after they're all hand threaded in, or started at least with a socket. I torqued them off camera. I didn't want to just be boring torquing, so I torqued them off camera. They're tight, good to go. Use my torque wrench here, and this is what a torque wrench looks like. I'll link one in the description if you guys are interested. Looks like there's your torque spec, 72 foot-pounds. Alright, cool. So I was able to get under here. My torque wrench is kind of small, but I basically went to 72 foot-pounds and torqued it. But you know, they're torqued, they're good. So then we're going to slide our rotor back on. Put the machine assembly screw in if you want, if you can. And then we'll slide our rotor bracket back on. Put our rotor bracket bolts in, and we will tighten those down, and we'll put our pads in. Try not to get any materials on your pad material, like, you know, like grease or whatever. Put these pads in, and then when you put your caliper back on, you gotta put that spring back on, and it might be a little tight because, like I said, this caliper is like the screw style, so like you can't just compress this caliper piston. It has to be screwed with this tool. Alright, so we'll slide this on. Hopefully you don't have to screw it in anymore, and it'll just slide back over. It should. It might be a little tight, but it should go back on. And then we'll put this brake line back in place. Get this line put in like that. That's how it's supposed to look. And then we'll put our caliper bolts in right here. Okay, cool. Tighten those down. And get those tight. Now, if the inside nut is spinning, you want to hold that with like pliers or a wrench to make it not spin. Sometimes dudes get confused and they think it's tight, but that inside nut's spinning and it's really not tight and it comes off. I know we're moving kind of quick on the end here, guys, but I mean, I figured if you made it this far, you kind of get you know, you get it. You know what to do. Make sure your brake hose isn't twisted or nothing like that. And then here's the machine screw right here. You can put this in if you want. If you messed it up taking it out, it's okay. You don't have to have it. And then we'll get our wheel speed sensor in. Don't forget this, because this will set codes and your brake light will come on, your ABS light and stuff. So don't forget to put this back in and slide it back in. It's also dummy proof. There's only one way to install it. Put the 10mm bolt back in and just tighten that down. Don't go crazy on the torque. Just get it tight. snug, and double check everything. Make sure you didn't forget nothing. If you have a feeling, then double check it, and that's it. All right, guys, that's all the information I got for you. The rest of the video is just a couple products and other stuff I got going on. Totally up to you if you want to stick around. I got a 15% off promo code for AUXITO LED headlights. These are the best headlights in my opinion. They just recently upgraded all their technology, so their LED lights are even brighter than the others that are still using old tech. I've had many LED lights as far as like headlights, interior lights, whatever, brake lights, and these are the best. They don't flicker, they're not cheap. They don't like go out on you. All you gotta do is go to the AUXITO website, type in your vehicle information, then look up what kind of light you want. All their products will pop up, and these are available on Amazon as well. But if you go to the website and use GearmoAuto in the discount code spot, you will get 15% off. So if you're looking for new brighter upgrades, check these out. Hey, what's up, guys? I want to tell you about Quantum Soap. It's a new men's soap company. They got many different bars of soap, each with their own ingredients and fragrance and texture. They even have grittier bars for like mechanics or whoever, like the dark matter bar. It's extra gritty. If you go to their website, it's free shipping over $50. Each bar is about $5. You also get a 10% discount code for your first order. They're coming out with many new soaps. It's definitely worth checking out. Of course, I have a discount code for you. It's GearmoAuto. If you type it in at checkout, you'll get 10% off. You could use it as many times as you want every time you order. These make great gifts to husbands, boyfriends, uncles, nephews. They even got the Galactic Mechanic bar. It's super gritty for mechanics, so check that out. Type in the GearmoAuto promo code. That way they know you're one of the homies. And that's it, guys.